Like the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer came out.
That is correct. It came out.
Right. So I don't know. Why don't you talk about the sketch over here? So this is Deadpool and Wolverine for people who just stopped by. Trailer dropped. Sean's drawing it. He's told me that he had this idea percolating in his
The poses,
brain
yeah.
all day.
Yes. Apparently, this is about, I don't know, two guys. I mean, you may have heard of them from comic books or something.
Yeah.
But, for those of you who don't know, because you're entrenched by more popular characters like, Captain Marvel and Wonder Man, saying that they haven't come out. These guys were the thing in the 90s, apparently. And now they're trying to bring them back to the big screen in a new project under the umbrella of the MCU that I guess people were waiting for quite some time. And I saw the trailer. It was cool. Question though, are people gonna come out for this?
Yeah. I'm saying yeah. It has Hugh Jackman in it and has Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
I mean, it's marketing genius, I tell you that much. And again, I think the team behind Deadpool knows how to do that. I gotta say, there's some salty people on Twitter right now. I've seen tweets talk about like, oh, the only reason that people are looking forward to this is because it's white men back in the lead because they weren't satisfied by the Marvel.
Are these real? Like, are these real people? Like, or is this like a Disney bot person or something to write? Like, of course, probably they write that about their own product. So I guess for some people, there's no kind of differentiation in popularity with superheroes. Like, they just think all the superheroes are the same.
But
like Wolverine is the same popularity as Miss Marvel. Is the same popularity as Moon Knight.
No. Miss Marvel is better.
Oh,
because she has representation.
Is she better than Wolverine?
Yes,
a better character.
Not because she was a better character in the comic books, but because Disney said let's make a movie, and then they made a movie, and the movie is out, and it's like, oh, it's a character, it's a diverse character, so now we must obey the laws of.
So you're saying like the diversity is the superpower?
Yes.
Well, this is like, I don't know, I guess the courtship of this audience, that they don't really care about like powers or the character's origin is or storylines. They just care about like using their seeing their race represented as it is some kind of, I don't know, premonition of some future race war or something like that, where they wear their skin as like battle armor, like Warcraft or something. But at this point, it's like, yo, it is like 2024. People are still like talking about this. Like the movie flop. I mean, like, look, it's Wolverine. Like his name is Wolverine. That's cooler than Miss Marvel. That's like, I don't know. Like I'm just saying, it's cooler than a lot of things in Marvel, right? Wonder Man. They come into the Wonder Man TV show, and it's like his name is Wonder Man. And I know Wonder Man. Like, I read comics with Wonder Man. I used to read the West Coast Avengers. But it's just like, compared to like Wolverine, it's like there's a hierarchy of scale of these things. I don't care what color you make these characters.
Now, there's some X-Men that cannot be a part. Like, nobody's trying to see a Cyclops movie.
I would say though, like I wouldn't want to see any really, like any, I guess except for Wolverine. I really wouldn't really care about any of the X-Men having a solo movie unless it was really cool. Like, as aside from Wolverine, I guess it could be Storm. Then you could put Forge in it, and then you can have that romance going on.
Oh yeah, good idea.
And then you could have them fight Sentinels and all the people they forgot to put in the other X-Men movies. Thing is, though, they would still have to debut with an X-Men film properly, and then they could spin off those characters.
Yes, I also agree on that.
That's why, like, I think they should have just, and I know that they weren't going to because they thought they could milk whatever continuity they had from the MCU, but they should have just rebooted the whole thing. Instead of debuting with the Avengers, just start with X-Men, establish the whole mutant thing from the ground up with new actors, new everything.
Yeah.
Get the Russos to direct that. Then you could bring back Iron Man and Captain America with new people and new origin. The same origin, but told differently, whatever.
Right.
Now it's just like all mixed up and weird. I remember they were going to have a Gambit movie.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, Channing Tatum, and he said that they canceled it at the last minute, and he's still mad about it.
Huh.
I don't even know what it was going to be like. I remember Taylor Kitsch was Gambit in that bad Wolverine movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh right. I remember. All right, this is just to let y'all know, this is gonna be a rough sketch. You know, this is not made to be the ultimate finality. So if it looks like whatever, it's whatever.
It looks legit. It looks legit though.
But it was funny to me.
In what way?
I'm just talking about the like why people excited about this. I'm like, bro, it's Wolverine and Deadpool, man. Like, stop it. Like, you know, everybody was gonna be excited about this. Like, stop playing. People, I'm like, stop pretending that you like the Marvels. Or maybe they did. And
you know, maybe they narrowed down. See, sometimes I wonder about that, like, because people say, oh, they're lying, or is it like they've psychologically constructed that film to hit like a target audience of like people that love to complain on the internet and will be 10 toes down for this product, that they're not lying? They actually found the audience. It might be the audience of like, I don't know, 700 people in the entire country or something, but they activated the crazy gene
that like the rat-a-tat-tat scene, bro. Like,
yeah, like maybe they've had some kind of like, you know, like, you ever see you know, like the Manchurian Candidate or Kingsman, the end of Kingsman, when they had that signal and then everyone was going crazy around the world because they knew the frequency of sound that would make people go nuts.
Yeah,
control their brain.
Right.
Maybe like Marvel when they made the Marvels, it was the same thing. Like they put enough like
there
I
was
don't
a
know
frequency.
yeah.
That
activated all these like weirdos to just go buck wild on the internet when somebody disses it.
And they'll say like, Deadpool's cool and all, but I'm like, all right, stop it now.
So is the Deadpool movie a playoff the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe story? It might be, but will they? I mean, that'd be kind of funny, like if they used it as an excuse to like get rid of all their
to reboot everything.
But they wouldn't dare do that.
Yeah, they're not going to do that because they still have to go through Captain America, New World Order, or whatever it's called now. I forget.
Yeah, and it seems like Disney, they're afraid to like cancel their projects like DC, like whatever David Zaslav is doing over at DC.
Yeah,
it's wild. I'm sorry, Warner Brothers. They just like nuke entire projects.
Yeah,
because I heard that Captain America, the Sam Wilson one, is having problems. The movie. They had to rewrite that script too, and they got to refilm some stuff. And Blade, of course, Kang, you know, the actors,
right,
off the project, so now they probably want to retool that whole thing too. I don't know. I mean, it would be funny, like just like say, okay, let's just end it all, start over with X-Men properly.
And it's funny because he calls himself the savior, you know, in the trailer. I'm like, so what are we doing here? Like, what?
I don't think they would reset their whole universe off of a joke movie. That would be crazy. Like a comedy is gonna reset the entire MCU properly. Usually that would be some kind of like Crisis on Infinite Earths level seriousness if you're gonna like make one new universe.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this movie is gonna do whatever it's gonna do, and then like the whole Joker, the only thing is gonna end up being it really doesn't do anything. Yeah, it'll be like something at the end scene. It's like, wait a minute, we reset all these timelines and nothing happened.
Probably.
I mean, they try to do that whole TVA thing, and they called them. It's funny because I thought it was gonna be called Deadpool 3, and they just called it Deadpool and Wolverine. And I'm like, you know what? That's even better.
And because it's titled that, it's gonna make money. So yes, I agree that they should have took some time to reboot everything.
Yeah.
Now I know them; it's a big money machine, so I don't know if they could wait 5 years. But definitely in between 0 years and 5 years, I would really put it on that. They could try and do little things on Disney Plus. Maybe they could have made their What If show better.
Yeah.
and maybe that could be up into something, and then that could be like the thing that ties people over until the new stuff comes out.
Right.
Then they could play what if with the MCU all day long. Like, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? And then they do the new stuff, and it's like, okay, now it's new stuff.
Right.
We get 2 new shorts.
Yes.
But one was Sean reacting to a video of MCU writers talking about how they don't read the actual source material, how they were told in some cases to not read the source material and come up with their own ideas or change the character. Sometimes they read the source material and decided we're not going to use it and go another way. Either way, it ends up to them not using the source material. And they never really mind all the good material out of the comics.
Never. It's still, bro, the amount of story. I don't see, look, let's just state the obvious, bro. Like, they did the Infinity, saga. That's all well and good. You don't jump from the Infinity Saga and start talking about freaking Ironheart, bro. Like, people, and I don't want to hear the who's in the comics. Like, guys, there's certain things in the comic books that nobody wanted to see. Imagine them making a Spider-Man movie and they use the Clone Saga, bro. To my recollection, nobody liked that saga. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong.
All right. Well, now they're trying to have some kind of retroactive appreciation for it.
Are they?
Only because, like, I don't know. This is drawn by Mark Bagley or something, and he had like a jersey, and it kind of looked cool. And I guess now they know it was going to be resolved. I think like some people liked it in the beginning, but then like it just went on too long, and they were just like, "Hey, we can't have this. Like, Peter Parker is not the Spider-Man. That's just disturbing to the mind."
Right.
So they had to end that madness. Yeah, the new stuff they have out now is just like, why are they jumping to that? It's like, it's so lame. It's crazy that like the Hulk has had so many issues of comics and storylines, and they didn't use like any of them. They mentioned like Thunderbolt Ross, but they never really got into Rick Jones at all. They just kind of just made it like he didn't exist. They could have had Doc Samson like chasing the Hulk around.
Right.
I'll have a big battle with him. Those were some of the coolest comics. And they're like, nah, I'm not doing any of that. We're still gonna have any Hulk movies, period. And I think the Edward Norton Hulk did okay. Like, it didn't like break the bank and box office like records or anything like that, but I think it did okay. But it just wasn't surrounded by the MCU hype.
Right.
Maybe if it did, then it would at that time, like building toward this end game situation.
Right.
Then it would be a huge movie. It's not a bad movie. The Edward Norton Hulk movie. It's okay.
No, I did not see
better than a lot of the new stuff now.
I did not see that, and I wanted to.
But those are the big names: Hulk, Black Widow, and Black Widow they botched. I don't know. I swear, like the Russos did a weird thing by killing Black Widow and then keeping her dead, and then they had her movie in flashback form, and that's a one-off.
That was odd.
Like they should have had like by now. There should be like up to like 5 Black Widow movies by now.
Definitely could have been a franchise. And
they should have leaned more on like the spy thing, made it more like Mission Impossible level stuff.
Right.
With the stunts. Now I know like maybe Scarlett's not gonna, she's not gonna do the stuff that Tom Cruise is doing, like jumping off of airplanes for real and all this stuff. But that's what stunt people are for.
Yeah. Definitely a franchise people wanted to see.
Yeah. I saw some tweet, I don't know if it's real, that back issues are selling more than the new issues of comics nowadays. And
what?
Some stores are not even ordering new comics. They're just selling the back issues now.
You know what? Hold on.
And I mean, and of course, it's obvious. Oh yes, the writing is bad. It's all the social messaging before the aesthetics and before the writing, and the quality's gone down, and there's no consistent writer teams, and the distro is bad and all that. But I do think it's funny that people still want the old back issues. And some of these comics nowadays, even though they are, dubiously written,
yeah,
quality, the art is like so mannered and so labored over, and some people are tracing, JPEGs from the internet just to make sure everything looks crisp and clean and accurate and all. Meanwhile, people just find joy in just reading the back issues when things were drawn more off the cuff and on a deadline and naturalistic, and maybe it doesn't have to be pitch perfect like anatomy and
Oh yeah, because they were just trying to get through it, and it was
yeah,
it was more than just getting through it. It was like built off of like the art was just built off of energy. It's like, yo man, I might not be correct on this tricep, but man, did I have fun drawing it? You know,
right. And a lot of it was correct. It's just, are they gonna be laboring it on every panel and every guy in the background? Like back in the day, they were just drawing on Bristol paper and then mailing it in, and then they scan it in and whatever they did, photograph it.
yeah.
Now it's like you can zoom in with the computer to like the background to see like a dude holding a piece, a newspaper and a bench, and then draw him accurately. Or else some person on the internet's going to criticize the panel. They're going to take one panel of your whole comic and make fun of you. So now everyone's like getting 3D models and stuff to make sure that they're not going to be clowned on the internet forever and stuff. And it's just like, it's funny. There's all that going on, but a lot of people are just going to the comic book store to just buy old issues where the anatomy was wonky AF and having a great time. The background building sometimes was just an outline of a building with like a flat color of like orange on it. And we were good on that. It's like drawn by human beings, and maybe that what they miss, what people love about buying back issues, they can go back into a time when things were drawn by a human being,
right,
instead of everybody laboring over something that's going to be sold for $5 when only 5 people are going to buy it. It's more human, I should say. Maybe people are relating to the humanity of back issues.
Maybe. I didn't know this was happening, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's happening. I don't know if Chad can co-sign on that, or maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I've been seeing, and that's what I've been reading.
Maybe that's what people are thinking. They're like, man, I don't know what's going on in these comic books nowadays, but let's just take a trip back down memory lane.
Yeah. Plus, they were more consistent. So if you actually like a writer and artist team from back in the day, you could pick up like 50 comics from them.
Yeah.
That they all drew in a row, and it has an unbroken streak of success because they're the same people doing it.
Right.
Nowadays, you can hardly get the same writer and artist together for more than like 3 issues max, and then it's somebody else.
True.
Like on X-Men, it seemed to be for a while that X-Men was basically, if you were drawing an X-Men book, that meant you were the biggest artist in comic books at the time. Had John Byrne and like a rotation between like Alan Davis and Paul Smith, and you had Art Adams, Barry Windsor Smith. I consider that one whole era of like the mid to late 80s. And you had Mark Silvestri in the late 80s.
Yeah.
To top that whole 80s run. And then of course Jim Lee. And then between that, I think was like the Kuberts.
Right.
And then you had Joe Mad. And Joe Mad was like a radical departure from it, because he was bringing in that manga cartoony influence.
Yeah.
But it still could be taken seriously. Like it wasn't like a cartoon. It wasn't like graffiti style. It's funny, like nowadays I feel like people are really recognizing what Joe Mad brought back in the day. Like those comics were really solid.
What I will do, what I'm thinking of now, this piece right here, as the release date nears, I could actually like make it into a full color piece later.
You can revisit.
Yeah, revisit this, and this will be like a real thing, because I kind of like the basic composition of it, So we can revisit this.